So I've gotten a few comments like this in the past whenever I've talked about replacement of Canadians and immigration. And to me, it seems like a way to kind of shut down discussion about that topic because, it is a touchy subject. I can understand, and people don't want to talk about it, don't want to be associated with anybody who does because they're going to be smeared with white nationalist, supremacist, Nazi, etc. But the comment that I got went something like this. Everybody who talks about replacement and doesn't have any kids, yet can have kids, shouldn't be talking about it. Get busy and start making babies. That is the only way. So, first of all, this is wrong. No matter how many babies we have, it is not going to stop us being replaced. The only thing that is going to stop us from being replaced is to actually stop pretty much all immigration right now, especially from third world countries, and to also stop socialism. It's these two things that is contributing to our replacement, not me having no kids, right? That has no impact on it actually whatsoever. Yes, it'd be good if I had some too, right? But do you really want me to go and impregnate a bunch of random hoes just for the sake of it, just to have some white babies and stuff? No, obviously not. And having a smaller population actually isn't a bad thing. It should be the natural progression of things. A lot of old people around, there's a big boom, they got a lot of houses, they have less kids. Now there's a bunch of houses on the market. Now we can actually buy homes at a cheaper price as compared to what it is right now, where you got a bunch of illegal or you got a bunch of Chinese people laundering money in the housing market and all this other stuff, importing a bunch of immigrants to make housing more expensive, and a bunch of other things that we now have to deal with that people didn't have to deal with in the past. It's also a little bit harder to even approach women nowadays with the whole Me Too movement. If you stare at a girl wrong, then you're a rapist, you're this, you're that. Then you got to the divorce courts. People go into that. Yeah, a lot of people, younger people, are more afraid, especially of starting relationships. So there's also that. But like I said before, that really is not even the biggest issue. It's the socialism and it's the immigration. And, this has been going on for a really long time. And nothing has been done about it. And just because I don't have kids doesn't mean that I'm not allowed to complain about being a minority in my own country. Somebody who is like gay or something, are they allowed to complain about being a minority in their own country? Are they allowed to do it? Well, I would think so too, right? So just because I don't have any kids right now doesn't mean that I can't worry about the future if I do have kids, that they're not going to be in a country with people that actually look like them, that they're going to be a minority in their own country, and they're most likely going to be fucking targeted. So, it seems really stupid to me that people would say that and be like, oh, you shouldn't even talk about it because you don't have any kids of your own, so get busy and do that and shut up, essentially. Well, if I do that, yeah, I could add one kid, two kids to the fucking thing. But do you think this is going to stop us from being replaced? No, we have to do some stuff politically, actually, and to stop immigration, convince people to stop the actual immigrants coming in en masse, and changing some of our laws, like the birthright citizenship, closing some of the loopholes at the border, stopping the socialism, which is a justification for our replacement. But telling younger people that don't have kids, hey, don't talk about your replacement that is going on right now because you don't have any kids is insane to me. That's totally fucked up, and it just seems like a way to get people to stop talking about it. And I'm like, are you serious? This is the most important issue. So what if somebody's like sterile? Can they talk about it? You know, they don't have the ability to have kids, but are they allowed to want to be surrounded by people that look like them? Are they allowed to want the culture to remain the same in their country? Are they allowed these things because they don't have but they don't have kids, right? So what kind of argument is that? You know, it's a really stupid one in my opinion. But you know, and like I said before, today it's different than it was back in the day. People are acting like it's like just as easy to have as many kids. You know, my auntie, my stuff on my dad's side, yeah, she had like 11 kids. And people back in the day had like 8, 9, 10, 11 kids, but like half of them would die through like tuberculosis or some shit. And you know, things were a little bit different now. Yes, we could have more kids, but people are more brainwashed nowadays too. They think that they do need more, and that's not just the younger millennial generation that thinks that way. It's a lot of people. You know, they think they need this cars, they think they need 2 houses, garages, they need all these other things, where in reality, no, you don't need all these things. And you know, women are convinced to go to work and to get a job and to do this and not to be mothers. So then, yeah, that's even more difficult, especially younger women these days. You know, you hear a lot of these women, they're like, oh, I don't want a baby until I'm 35. Oh, I'm going to freeze my eggs and do all this crap. Right? So it's like, oh, just go and have babies and do your part. Have 2 kids, and that's going to stop the replacement of Canadians. Like, no, this has been going on for decades. And telling, you know, younger people and stuff like, hey, just go and have some babies. You know, it's stupid. It's dumb. It's not gonna change anything. We gotta have people that are not pussies and that are willing to talk about immigration, that are willing to talk about what is going to happen. Because nobody's saying, hey guys, in 20 years or however many years down the road, you're going to be a minority in your own country. And years further down, you're going to be even more of a minority. Until you don't even fucking recognize it. But nobody wants to talk about it. It's easy to talk about pipelines. It's easy to talk about Ray Bould and GM Butts and Trudeau and his scandals and all that stuff, which is interesting. You know, you talk about it and all that stuff. But what really matters? What is the thing that truly fucking matters? You know, when you wake up 20 years from now, is it going to be that we got a couple pipelines now or something? Or is it going to be you still recognize your country for what it is, that you still have the same culture that you still once had, that your ancestors had in this country, that now your kids are no longer going to have, because it's going to be replaced with an Islamic culture, with a Chinese culture, with whatever Hispanic culture, whatever is coming in here. But just go have babies, right? Go have babies. That's going to solve the problem. That's going to solve everything. I'm not saying I have no responsibility whatsoever. And yeah, I'll contribute and I'll have a couple kids. But let me just be clear. Having kids is not going to stop it. And we're not going to outbreed these people, okay? That's not going to happen. So, you know, and having a smaller population is not a bad thing. It's only a bad thing when you have a dependent older generation that you know, has all these pensions, all this other shit, or that the, you know, the government is using as justification to bring in other immigrants. But if we didn't have all these programs, they would have no argument. But nobody also wants to talk about, you know, getting rid of socialism. You know, everybody says they hate socialism, but not really. You know, they don't really hate socialism. They like it. They like some socialism. Like, well, some people, they're like, well, I'm moderate, and you know, I think I'm just, you know, I'm a moderate person. I believe in a little bit of this. I'm like, no. You just like some fucking socialism. You just like some of this easy shit where the government does it for us, and you know, where we don't have to take care of ourselves, but when you don't take care of yourself, then we get the situation we are in now, where, you know, your grandkids, your children, if you do have kids, they're going to grow up in a country that's going to look vastly different than the country that you grew up in. And me having one or two more kids is not gonna change the numbers that much. That's what people really got to realize. You know, like the amount of people that are dying from drugs, suicide, specifically white men that are dying from drugs and suicide is higher than a lot of other groups. And yeah, we're also not going to keep up with especially the rate of immigration that Trudeau is bringing in. Even reducing it to 250,000 is not going to be good enough. So yeah, me having babies isn't going to do a thing, and it's not going to stop me. That kind of comment isn't going to stop me from talking about it. Isn't going to deter me from talking about it, because it's just it's a bad argument, to be honest. But that's all I pretty much had to say. If you like my content, subscribe and have a good day. See ya.